Nolan's Odysseus isn't simply trying to get home. He's trying to become a kind of man who deserves to come home. His homecoming isn't a matter of geography, it's a matter of character, and that's what makes it a hero's journey. And sitting in that theater last night, I nearly laughed out loud because I know that idea. My tradition has a name for it. That journey back, we call it in Hebrew teshuvah. So think about, if you've seen the film or read the great book, think about it in the context of teshuvah. It's usually translated as repentance, and we have a context for that. But the Hebrew word literally means return. It's the Odyssean journey. Teshuvah is the Jewish teaching that the road back to God, to the people we've hurt, to the person we were meant to be, or even that we were, is never closed. But the road has conditions. You have to face what you've done. You have to feel its weight. You have to repair the damage. You have to choose a different choice, a different outcome. Return in Judaism isn't just walking or rowing back. It's not walking back through a door. It's becoming someone worthy of that door. The rabbis go further. They say in a place where a person who has returned stands, even the perfectly righteous cannot stand. The one who fell and fought his way back outranks the one who never fell. Just personalize that for a moment. So let me say something that may surprise you. Christopher Nolan turned homecoming into a kind of teshuvah, a kind of repentance. He took the greatest homecoming story in Western literature and quietly made it a story of moral transformation. He made the Odyssey Jewish, I'll say. I don't think he knows that, but from my purview, he did. Now, one of the most famous scenes in all of literature, the Sirens. If you know Greek mythology or you know the Odyssey, you know that character, the Sirens on the rocks luring sailors to their death. Creatures whose song is irresistible, not beautiful, irresistible. Engineered, you might say, to bypass human will entirely. Every sailor who hears it steers toward the rocks and dies. Full knowledge of the danger saves no one. That's the terrifying part. The sirens don't defeat your ignorance. They defeat your willpower. And what does Odysseus do? He does the wisest thing any human being has ever done in the face of irresistible temptation, at least in that context. He doesn't trust himself. He knows his own will, and he knows its shortcomings. He puts wax in the sailors' ears, and he has them bind him to the mast. It's a beautiful scene in the film. With strict orders, no matter what I say, he says, no matter how I beg, do not untie me. He makes the decision while he's still free, because he knows that in the moment of temptation, he won't be free. 3,000 years later, we have built the Sirens. I mean, we carry them. We carry them in our pockets. The feed that knows exactly what you cannot resist. The algorithm that never sleeps, never tires, and sings a song composed precisely, mathematically for you. And we keep telling ourselves, well, we'll resist it with willpower. We won't do the same tomorrow that we did yesterday. But we generally don't, and that's the design. After every major argument, a fight in their marriage, and there were fights as there are in many marriages, the real ones, he said, the ones that could have calcified into contempt, those arguments, those fights that harden us, he said, we had a rule. We would, ready for this, we would get undressed, completely undressed. We would sit down, the two of us, naked. He said, when we were young, it changed the mood perhaps. But as we got older, our bodies gave us more to laugh about than to argue about. And then he said the part that is really, I'll say, epic, Odyssean, and profound and wise, that has stayed with me, that I'll never forget. He said, we would see each other's scars, and every scar was a memory we shared. Do you remember that surgery? And she'd say, do you remember that time you fell off the ladder trimming the hedges? And there they were, no clothes, no armor, no covering, no positions to defend. The anger just couldn't survive it. What was left was laughter and humility and almost unbearable recognition of humanity, of deep, deep love, of abiding love, of being by each other's side, of realizing the journey that they had made toward each other and with one another. Homer knew something his readers often forgot and probably still forget. Deep in the poem, Odysseus is given a prophecy. Yes, you'll reach Ithaca. You will reclaim your home, but afterward you must leave again. One more journey. Carry an oar. Listen to this. Carry an oar on your shoulder and walk inland away from the sea until you meet people so far away from the ocean, the sea, that they mistake your oar for a farming tool. Only then may you return, and only then will you find peace. Even Odysseus, the man who spent 20 years fighting to get home, is not permitted to simply arrive and rest and unpack his suitcase and stop. Even in the great epic of homecoming, there's no final arrival. And I'll admit something to you. Homer's original poem that I read in high school at the time with a great English teacher contains an image that I dearly missed in the film. Odysseus and Penelope's marriage bed, I don't think I saw it in the film, but somebody might in the comments tell me it was there. It was carved from a single living olive tree by Odysseus' own hands, still rooted in the earth. The bed can't be moved. That was their secret. The film, I think, lets it go, and I understand why. But notice what even the greatest adaptation left behind. The image of a marriage with roots, with grounding. Sometimes the ancient text holds treasures that no film, no carry, or no camera can, or adaptation can carry. But no final arrival. That the film understands, and so does my tradition in its bones. Moses dies on the far bank, and every single year on the same day, Jewish people around the world read the final verses of the Torah. Moses on the mountain, the land he will never enter, but that he sees. And then without pausing, in the same service, we roll the scroll from the back end, from the end to the beginning, and we read the words, "In the beginning, Bereshit." We never let the story end. We never let the epic journey end. Ours and its. The characters and the characters as they show up in our own stories. The moment we arrive, we begin again, because our deepest claim about the human condition is this: you're not built for arrival, you're built for journeying, whether that's physical or spiritual. The destination wasn't the point is who the journey makes you.